Today I'm going to show you how to do a oil change on your Volkswagen Passat. So first off, you want to get it up so that you can access underneath the vehicle. I've put my one on some ramps, but you can also jack it up with some of the jacking points under there. Next thing you want to do is get it up to temperature, so let it run for a little bit. You can see my one's up to 55 degrees on the oil temperature, so it should be good enough, really. Next thing you want to do is open the bonnet, which is located down in the driver's side footwell. Open the bonnet. With the bonnet open, you then want to remove the engine cover, which is just on some poppers. So all four corners, put the engine cover to the side. So we want to get down here to the oil filter. So next you want to take a T30 and undo this screw on the top. With the screw out the way, you can then pull this little bracket just out the way and just hook it to the side somewhere so you can get to the filter. And then what you need is a 32mm socket. Just pop that down there, get it on there and loosen that. So with the filter loosened, make sure it is actually loose and just leave that there. We'll replace that in a bit, but we'll just let it drain, because otherwise if you pull it out too early, it's full of oil and it drips everywhere. So we'll move on to the underneath and we'll get the undertray off. So underneath the car you have some T25 bolts all the way around. So a couple of those, and they just run around the whole undertray, and then at the back you'll have some T45 bolts as well. So we'll just get those out quickly. So with all the screws out, and you just have the undertray hanging down like this, all we need to do is sometimes you can just pop a screwdriver in here just to release it off the tabs at the front. You should be able to just pull her out and slide the undertray out the way. And once underneath, just need to get to the back to the sump plug, which is just there, and that is a 19mm socket or spanner, so we'll just get that. So yeah, before you slide the drain pan under, you want to crack the bolt off, slide your drain pan underneath once it's cracked off, and loosen the bolt. Sometimes they can be a little bit tight in the thread, but should be okay. Try not to obviously drop the bolt, and then just sit there and let that drain for a little while. So whilst your oil's draining, now we can get to the oil filter. Hopefully that will have lost most of its oil out of it, so it shouldn't have too much left in it, as you can see. So if you pulled it out too early, it's still full of oil and it drips everywhere. So what we'll do next is, we've got a new filter, make sure it looks the same, and then we're just going to pull this one out, pop it in your bucket, get a screwdriver, and you just want to take this seal off, pop that in your bucket, and with your new seal, make sure it's sat in the correct channel at the bottom. Get a bit of oil in your finger, lube the seal up, push your new filter in. And you hear it click, you know it's in. And then just lube this top seal up as well. Next, we're gonna just pop that back in its channel. So it can be a little bit of a squash, bit of oil going. Make sure it's threaded in nicely. Thread it in by hand until it just snugs up a bit. And then whilst that's in there, then just get your ratchet. Yeah, if I can get it going. Pop your ratchet on it and just tighten it up. Doesn't need to be mega tight, just needs to be snugged. The one thing from years of experience with these, I just pause it. So yeah, like I said, from years of working on these, once you've nipped it up, undo it by about a turn, and then do it back up, and then that's snug. The reason you do that is because sometimes the seal can get caught, and you won't find out until you start the car and 10 tons of oil are on the floor. So always back it off a bit and then tighten it up again. It just makes sure the seal is seated. Once that's done, then we can just start rebuilding. So we can put together the rest of it, so you get your brackets back together there, and screw the T30 in for the bracket. Doesn't need to be tight, just a little snug. Once that's done up, last thing you want to do whilst the under tray is off is just to give everything, if you've got a bit of brake cleaner, just give it a little bit of a spray and give it a little wipe down. Try and get any residual oil off. Doesn't matter if there's a little bit, but obviously you don't want tons and tons of oil in there. We'll just open our cap, ready to fill. So with that all done, we can go undone. We can just put our sump plug back in. So again, realistically, these are a crush washer, so it should replace crush washer. I forgot to get one, so I'm not going to. But really, you should replace these. That's not a massive problem. So we'll just screw our filter, screw our sump bung back into the bottom of the engine, and then just nip it up. Again, it's a sump plug, they haven't got to be mega tight. The Volkswagen spec is 30 Newton meters, so if you've got a torque wrench, do it up to 30 Newton meters. If not, obviously just don't do it too tight. You don't want to strip the threads. So once your bolt's tightened up, don't forget to just kind of give her a little spray off brake cleaner and give it a wipe just so it's nice and clean. And then yeah, the rest of it will be just putting your under tray back on, screwing it in from underneath. So next, going to be filling the oil up. So stick a funnel in there. My car takes 4.3 litres of 530. This is Castrol. I'm sure you can look up online, find out exactly which oil your car takes. The Castrol stuff is quite good. So yeah, we're just going to fill that up. So once your oil's filled up, or you've put what it specifies, we're just going to check the dipstick. So first thing you want to do, pull it out, wipe it off, ignore the first reading. Once it's all dry, once all this is dry, this is your little honeycomb, so this is where your level is. So ideally you want it kind of at the top of this little hatched area here. So we're going to put it in, give it a moment, and pull it out. Now the first thing you'll notice is that it's actually a smidge higher, and that's good, that's normal. And the reason that's higher is because we haven't started the car yet, but that just tells us that we've got enough in there. So we're going to take this out and we're just going to give the car a quick run up. So what you want to do next is you just want to start the car up, and obviously you want to make sure that our oil pressure light goes out. So for that, give it a start, just let it run. Make sure there's no warning lights on, no oil pressure lights, none of that. And what we'll do, we're just going to go around the front and have a check. So you want to check around here. You want to make sure that there's no leaking around the oil filter seal, because it can happen. So make sure, and our one looks nice and dry. And then you just want to poke the camera underneath, and again make sure that there's nothing leaking. Once you're happy with that and there's no leaks, and we've let it run for a little bit just to fill up the oil filter, we'll just switch it off and we'll give the oil level a check again. So after running the engine for a minute, now that the oil filter is now filled with oil, the level on the dipstick should go down to about where you want it. It may need some refilling, so again, pull it up, clean it off, get all the splashes off it, put it in, give it a moment, and then pull it back out again. And as you can see, we're just halfway up the dipstick. Now my car is still on a slight slope, so it might be slightly off, but that's okay. Halfway up the dipstick, ideally you kind of want it towards the top, maybe 3/4, but as long as it's on dipstick, that's the most important thing. So that's okay, that is there. The next thing would be to do is to just carry on putting the under trays back under the car. I'm not going to show that, I've already showed you how to take them off, so it's fairly simple putting them back on again. So in a moment we'll just go through to resetting the oil light, but yeah. So finally, the last thing you want to do is just reset the service light. So jump in the car, switch the ignition on. This is the latest style dash. Some of the older ones I'm not 100% sure how to do them, but I'll show you on this dash. So just click OK on there, go there. So you go over to your settings, scroll all the way down to service interval. As you can see, my one's 0 miles, so we're on that time. And just click reset. Yep, OK. And there you go, set for another year. So yeah, that's how you change the oil on it. Very simple, easy to do. Thank you for watching.